So the parasites are unable to break down the complex food, so they take already digested food from the host by just absorbing the digested food. Now these parasites can be a plant or it can be an animal as well, right? And the organism from which it derives the nutrition is known as the host. Now a parasite usually does not benefit the host, right? Other than that, we get to see that a parasite usually harms the host. Now these parasites could be present outside on the outer body surface or maybe inside the body. Like I gave the example of tapeworm, pinworms, tapeworms. These are endoparasites inside the body. Then parasites in the form of lice in the head, these are ectoparasites, right? Then we move on to the next one, the next type of heterotrophic mode of nutrition, which is holozoic nutrition. Now holozoic means feeding on solid food, right? So holozoic here means to feed on solid food, right? So we take in solid food, right? So it's now this solid food can be a plant or an animal product also. Most of the animals, including the human beings, take the solid food into their body by the process of ingestion. Now this holozoic nutrition is that nutrition in which an organism takes the complex organic food materials into the body by the process of ingestion, by ingesting the food, and the food is digested, absorbed. Now there are 5 steps which we talk about in a holozoic mode of nutrition, right? So in a holozoic mode of nutrition, there are 5 steps that are followed, right? Other than the human beings, right? Other than the human beings, when we talk about the process of nutrition in animals, we find the same kind of 5 steps to be followed in amoeba as well, right? So when we talk about nutrition, the process of nutrition in animals, the mode is holozoic. Now this is a 5-step nutrition, right? There are 5 steps in this mode of nutrition of taking in solid food. So under this we study about the 5 steps, the first being ingestion, that is taking in of the food, right? So here ingestion means taking in of the food, and in order to provide the energy necessary for the growth and to carry on the life's processes, food is required, and so the process of taking food into the body is known as ingestion, right? So in most simple terms, ingestion means eating of the food. We take the food in the mouth and eating of the food. We put the food in the mouth with the help of our hands, right? So that is ingestion. Once the food enters the mouth, is put inside the mouth, you start chewing it, and the process of digestion starts right away by the secretion of an enzyme in the saliva, right? So the second step here is digestion, right? What is digestion? Breaking down of the food, complex food, into simpler forms. So the process in which the food containing large insoluble molecules is broken down into small water soluble molecules which can be absorbed by our body easily, right, is known as digestion. So simply breaking down of the food into simpler forms is digestion. Now once the food is digested, broken down into water soluble forms, the third step is absorption, right? The food is absorbed. So after digestion, the food molecules, they become small and soluble. So the soluble food molecules can pass through the walls of our intestine, and then from there they can go into the bloodstream. So the process in which the digested food it passes through the intestinal wall into the bloodstream is known as absorption. So from the intestine into the bloodstream, that process is known as absorption. Then the fourth step here is assimilation. Right, assimilation is basically the process in which the absorbed food is taken in by the body cells and used for energy. So whatever food is taken in what form it is used, that is known as assimilation. Whether it is used for energy, whether that food material is used for growth process or for repairing of the cell, that is known as assimilation. So every food that we eat, I mean, if we talk about carbohydrates, proteins and fats, all these are used for some or the other purpose, right? So after it is absorbed, what is that food used for, right? For example, if it is an amino acid, what is the amino acid used for, right? If it is a glucose molecule, what is the glucose molecule used for? So that is assimilation. Right now, food is, absorbed, and then of course this is formed by a lot of reactions, etc. Then the next step is egestion, right? So that means whatever food is the undigested material which the body cannot digest has to be removed by the body. So it is undigested food material, right? So the process in which the undigested food is removed from our body is known as egestion, right? So that is egestion. And nutrition in amoeba is also a holozoic mode of nutrition, which we will discuss in we'll go through in the next class, the process of nutrition in amoeba, right? Other than that, just one more thing that I will discuss here related to animals is that when we talk about nutrition in animals, we see that the animals are divided into 3 groups on the basis of their food habits, right? So the 3 groups on the basis of the food habits are herbivores, carnivores and omnivores. Herbivores are plant eating animals, right? Animals that eat only plants are called herbivores, like cow, goat, buffalo, right? Then comes carnivores. Those animals that feed on flesh are known as carnivores. So animals which eat only other animals are carnivores, like lion, tiger, frog, vulture, kingfisher is a bird, right? Lizards, wolf, snake, all these are carnivores. Then comes the omnivores. Omnivores are those animals which feed on both plants as well as animals, right? So omnivores are plant eaters as well as meat eaters, right? So man is an omnivore, right? So we've discussed this part of nutrition today, and further in the next class we will just quickly go through the process, the nutrition in amoeba, because this is one question which is asked in the board exam along with the diagram. This is asked, very very important. It can be asked in the short question form and it can be asked as a 3-mark question as well, right? And then we'll talk about the digestive system in brief in the next class, right? So whatever questions, you will get some classes in the form of just a PDF of question answers, right? So maybe sometimes you will get a video which you will watch, and then sometimes you'll just get a PDF of question answers. Now the PDF of question answers will be one period, right? So you are expected to sit and complete those question answers, write them, copy them in your registers, biology registers, right? Anytime we can ask your parents to submit the registers, because we need to mark your written work also, right? So do your work sincerely. Good day.